Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kadesh. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of GMS, who are the true leaders of Israel today, and salutations to all of the Akim who are doing this work in truth and sincerity, who are risking their lives and their freedoms to do so, as well as the scattered Israelites who come looking like the heathen but are not, by way of their forefathers' seeds who are Israelite men. The true name of the Most High is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahushai, and the Lord's holy chosen people are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, as we are the ones who suffer under the curses in the book of Deuteronomy. My name is Yakalia, and I'm from the GMS Jamaica Kingston camp, and this video is the current state of affairs of this world. Alright, and of course, biblical prophecy. So here it is, a video from routers.com. Inflation pushes up homelessness in Portugal. Soaring inflation has left more people without a roof over their heads, but as homelessness rise. Then the rest of the video will explain. But Portugal is a part of NATO, which is that beast spoken about in Revelation chapter 17. It is one of those Edomite-led countries, and when I say Edomite-led, I'm talking about the Edomites, who are these so-called white people. Okay? Those are the nations that dominate NATO, right? That's the union of the Edomites, all right, to secure their power around the world, which they have as they currently rule this world, which was given unto them by Yahweh Shemeshai. Esau, the forefather of the Edomites, okay, Esau, Edom, was given the blessing of the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven, so he would rule one day. But as we know it, in the book of Revelation chapter 20, it says that Satan shall be loosed for a little season. And that little season is now, okay, that they're ruling in. Our last captivity, us the Israelites, our last captivity under the Edomites, okay? And since this kingdom is a kingdom that shall end, just like the kingdoms before it that ended, that were ruled by these heathen, okay, the various rulerships of the heathen, it deteriorates over time, and we're seeing the deterioration of the kingdom of the Edomites, because remember, Portugal, though it is the poorest of NATO, or of the in Europe, okay, countries, it is still Edomite dominated and Edomite led. So it is a sign of the way that things are going, okay, which, let me get to precept. As it is written in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 7, then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the beginning of the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, okay, which is the so-called white man. For Esau is the end of the world. And when it says the end of the world, it's not talking about the destruction of this earth. It's talking about this age as in aeon. Okay, the Greek word aeon. All right, in the New Testament, there are various meanings of the word world that is translated rather. All right, and aeon is one of them, which is age. Another one is oikoumene. Okay, for Esau is the end of the world, so the end of the age, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, right? So it is still Bible prophecy that this world, as we know it, is going to end, this age, and an age of righteousness led by Yahushai is going to be ushered in. And that is what we are waiting for. And when I say we, I'm referring to the men that sincerely do this work, that sincerely preach the word of Yahweh Shemeshai, and of course those elect members that worship Yahushai and have faith in Yahushai, Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Okay, so let's go to this video, see what's going on in Portugal.
Across Portugal, charities are struggling to cope with the sharp rise in the number of homeless. While soaring inflation and rising living costs are forcing people onto the streets, charities themselves are struggling to cope as they face rising energy bills and shrinking food donations. Portugal is Western Europe's poorest nation, and inflation has just hit a 30-year high of 9.3%. Because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the average price of bread in the EU is now 18% higher than it was a year ago. But NGOs believe high inflation is exacerbating existing structural problems. Low wages and high rents make the capital, Lisbon, the world's third least viable city to live in. The average salary is €878 per month, but most cost more than €1,000 to rent. Here's Carla Paixão from Doctors of the World.
In 2022, in a context of economic crisis linked to the war, with rising inflation and an increase in the cost of living, we currently have homeless people with a new profile. These are people who, due to precarious work, are no longer able to keep their homes. These are people who are on long sick leave and who during that period lost their income to such an extent that they were no longer able to keep their house. These are the issues that are on the table and that are driving people into homelessness.
But Portugal is not unique, and requests for support are rising elsewhere too. In the UK, the charity's Aid Foundation found that 4.9 million fewer people gave to charity or sponsored someone between January and April this year. And organisations are concerned the number of homeless people will increase even further this winter.
Yeah, that's the state of the world, man. The world is slowly but surely collapsing. Esau's society, rulership, and power structure is collapsing. And Portugal, it's in the last portion it spoke about Portugal, but it mentioned the UK as well. So you see, it's no longer just these certain countries that you once thought of one time, such as various parts in India, various parts in Africa, some Caribbean islands, some South American countries. People would turn a blind eye to what has happened to those places, in regards to homelessness and stuff like that. But it's starting to hit these Edomite-dominated countries, and it is very much a sign of the times. It also is a sign, by the way, because the people are suffering. Even in this Edomite rulership, their own people are suffering, which really goes to show you the state of this vile, abominable kingdom, right? Even in rulership of the Edomites, you have Edomites suffering. That goes to show you what kind of people they really are. But also, the scriptures let us know in the book of is it Psalm 68? No. It's supposed to be when the wicked are in authority, the people mourn. Where is it at? This is Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn, and the wicked are ruling, man. Job chapter 9 and verse 24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. All right, the Edomite rulership, the rulership of these base men, that's spoken about in the book of Job. And so as you can see, man, the people are mourning. All the people of this world, all people of nations, even Edomites are mourning too, man. Because they're suffering because, their own people, the wicked, are in rulership. But, once again, it is that very telling sign. And it's going to happen worldwide. It's going to be happening out here in Jamaica as well. People sit up here and they feel real comfortable in their current living situation. And, they're able to get by and whatever else. But things are going to be getting worse and worse and worse as we move along this road towards the climax of these biblical prophecies. And, inflation, rising inflation, rising homelessness, famine is coming. All right. And all of these things, man, are prophesied to happen in the book Second Esdras. A very quick precept to let you know judgment that's coming. Second Esdras chapter 15 and verse 5. Behold, saith the Lord, I'll bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. All right, so these things are all coming, man. And we're heading very speedily into this time. All right, whether you people believe it or not. All right, it doesn't matter what you believe. Biblical prophecy will happen for sure. And you Israelites, okay, moving on to you Israelites, man, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, y'all are going to be facing very heavy judgments, and Lord willing, of course, I am protected in those days. Those that are faithful to Yahweh Shemeshai as well will be protected in those days. All right. Because those days are called the days of Jacob's trouble. Jeremiah chapter 13 verse 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So he is referring to overall the elect of the nation of Israel that will be preserved from the troubles that are coming. All right. It's not that the elect won't be going through certain troubles, but the elect will not be taken by storm by the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Such judgments are reserved for the wicked of our people. And the heathen, they will face, they're going to be collateral damage overall. They don't matter, truth be told. All right. But our people that are unfaithful and do not hearken unto this word that is spoken unto them will be destroyed. Okay. Jacob's trouble is that time. It's coming. Okay. And so it is important, to fear Yahweh Shemeshai. That's the number one thing, actually. To fear Yahweh Shemeshai. And in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 1, it says, remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. All right? Remember the Creator, who is Yahweh Shemeshai. That's your Creator, man. Okay? And we are in dark days right now. You know what I'm saying? Very dark days. I mean, look at the state of the world. Look at the state of the people. Okay, due to the rulership of the Edomites. But worse days are coming, evil days that are way worse than what we've ever experienced before. While the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grandeur cease, because they are few. And that's what's happening due to the inflation and whatever else. And first it was that worldwide situation, which seems to have disappeared very magically. I know you have this war in Ukraine that is starting to really push things further along as well. All of these devices that are used by these Edomites, these elite of Esau Edom, it is pushing forward their agenda. And what's their agenda? Their NWO, right? And at the forefront of that NWO is that microchip. The world is collapsing. They're bringing hell to the world so that they can bring about their microchip, which is the mark of the beast. That's their ultimate goal. But the grinders is ceasing, man. The work is becoming few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, right? So these people are not going to have any hope. But those of you that believe in Yahweh Shemeshai will have hope, no matter the situation that you see going on around you, left, right, front, back, no matter what, it don't matter, man. You're going to be put in situations where your trial of faith will be tested, and it is all up to Yahweh Shemeshai. There's nothing you can do. Either you are one of those that were ordained from the very beginning to receive salvation, or you are not. But you have to, you still will have a spirit on you to hope that Yahweh Shemeshai takes you through these times that are coming. All right? But that's just what it is. That's just a quick little update regarding, the current state of the world, really, because this is going to be happening everywhere. All right. So with that, I like to say all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shemeshai, Bashim Kodesh, wa abad babal shalom.